Eventbrite is not a conservative. It's not conservative friendly, right? So James Lindsay, who has been speaking out against this hateful, this ideology of critical theory for quite a while, since it came down, since it was, um, what is it? Since it was critical race theory. So since critical race theory in 2020, and he's been doing this for even longer than that. Well, Eventbrite took down an event that James was supposed to be doing in Canada as hateful, dangerous, and violent content. It's like, where have I seen that before? Because they've done that to me twice. No, seriously though, they have deemed events that I've taken part of down. They've taken them down because they were hateful, dangerous, and violent. Like me. Like, who am I violent against? Myself? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, come on now. So, yeah, James was supposed to do an event in Calgary, Canada, organized by let me see. So the event was called Save Our Kids, and Eventbrite said it's hateful. So it's hateful to, quote unquote, save our kids. I mean, make it make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. I don't get it. But this is what's crazy. So let's see. I mean, let me see. Where is it? Basically, what it says as a result, your event has been unpublished. Be aware that severe and repeated violations of our guidelines, blah, 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 blah. I'm actually worried that I'm not going to have an Eventbrite account, so I can't even go to events anymore. Like, that's where I'm at with this, because, like, I've talked about this before. Like, I've actually joked with people where they said, "Here's the Eventbrite," and I go, "Well, I don't have an Eventbrite account." And they're like, I'm like, "I'm banned." No, I'm not. Knock on wood, but I can see it happening. It can happen at any given time because they just don't like me. But let me see. So James Lindsay actually told the Post Millennial, "I should thank Eventbrite for advertising. These acts." These acts of attempted censorship won't prevent the event, will attract attention, and will encourage me to be even more plain in my speech so that Canadians can hear the truths these companies and their government don't want them to hear. That's true. Like I said, like, when these things happen, usually what happens is these people get more attention. Like, there very much is the Streisand effect on stuff. So if you remember, the first time that Eventbrite took an event of mine down that I was participating in down, it was actually almost exactly a year ago. I was doing an event in Richmond, Virginia, and we were screening Matt Walsh's What is a Woman documentary, hosted by a panel discussion afterwards. Eventbrite said that was not okay. They took it down. What happens after that? It blows up on Twitter. Matt Walsh mentions me by name on his show of millions of people because I was taking part in this event. And me and Matt Walsh may not get along very well, but I thought his documentary was done very well. And it really is interesting that they would censor a trans person, and his exact words were, "What's egregious about it was that it was a documentary of trans people, followed by a discussion with trans people, and apparently that was still called hateful. I don't get it. And, yeah, that was in January. Um, oh, so in January, yeah, in January, the other event that I was talking about in Wisconsin. But then they've can't I mean, this is the whole thing we talk about a lot is, parallel economies. Eventbrite is not I mean, Eventbrite's a private organization, they can do this stuff, like, as long as they're not being forced to do this stuff by the government, they have every right to do this. As consumers, we need to treat them like we treated Bud Light, not very like, boycott. So we need an alternate platform that allows conservative events. Like, we need our own platforms. Just like what Elon Musk did with Twitter. We need those spaces so that we can have a parallel economy that doesn't cancel these types of events and actually are free speech platforms that allow free speech to thrive. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep continuing to do this. Like, I don't know how many chances we are going to give Eventbrite before we say enough. Now, I'm not smart enough to start a conservative platform like this. I'm not a tech person to be able to really do this. Um, and I know there are other platforms like I know our log cabin chapter here in Georgia. We stopped using Eventbrite after a lot of this stuff. Can't remember what they use. I know once the event in Richmond got canceled by Eventbrite, we used Google Docs to get everybody's name and all information like that. So there's different alternatives, but again, Google is just as susceptible as anybody else in these types of situations.